positive reinforcement. You're letting me get away.
Yeah.
And if I didn't really know you, I would have got away. Like, yeah, you know, something came up and something big did come up. So I'm like,
you're like, but this is Jen. We're gonna
yes, I got your back.
Did you test? Like, they're good to go?
You're good.
Okay.
Perfect.
You might want to pick up his a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay. And then one thing he told me last time is try not to bang on the table.
Okay.
Because I noticed that.
Right there, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. Just before we start, I'm going to get a little BTS.
All right, good.
And then 30 minutes after here, and then you can go to your $1 million deal.
Yeah.
Real quick. Shooting today's podcast with the one and only.
Let's go. I'm excited. Thank you so much for the honor.
All right, let's go. Yeah, so it's casual conversation. And one of the things, it's already recording, but we'll obviously cut it and edit it. So I know who you are, but obviously we want to talk about who you are to the people who haven't met you. So we can kind of just start from here. So Mario, thank you again so much for coming out and taking the time to do this podcast with me. Just go ahead and introduce yourself. Obviously, I know you, people in Riverside know you, but for those people that may not have heard of you before, tell us a little bit about what you do.
So thank you, by the way, for having me here. I really appreciate it. I always love your energy, how you are, and you're just a student. Like, I love me as a mentor. I love coaching and mentoring individuals like yourself. And I can tell when I coach you, when I help you, you always take it like, thank you. I appreciate it. Like, I'm going to apply that. Not like, oh, you don't understand. This is what I'm going through. And that just like, she's not the one. So you're the one, by the way. That's why I'm here. I'm super darn busy, but I'm here. But who am I? I'm just a kid from Pacoima. I'm very blessed. I have an attitude of gratitude. Like, I'm so darn grateful. 3 days ago, I was at my mom's house, and we passed by her work where I used to stay in the van while she was working. And I didn't have an attitude like, oh, poor me, look what we struggled through. Like, I had an attitude like, wow, this is where I lived at one point. Look where we're at. And I was just so grateful to God. My mom had me when she was 15 years of age. My dad was a teenager himself. When I was 5, they got an ugly divorce, Jennifer. Like, I mean, ugly. I felt like I didn't see my dad for years. My mom said it was months because he got in some trouble. I guess it was ugly. And I remember seeing my dad get carried away by police officers and never seen my dad for a long time. As a kid, I remember living in a 2-story house and then moving to a little trailer behind my grandma's house and struggling. And I remember praying to God, like, God, why do you hate me so much? Why'd you take away my dad from me? Why are we so poor? And I'm short. I'm like, come on, God, give me something. But you know what he was doing, Jennifer? He was preparing me for my destiny. He knew that one day I was going to do something special in my life. And I don't get arrogant thinking like I'm better because I make money or I'm successful. No way. So that's who I am. And what do? I teach people what the banks and the insurance companies don't want you to know, and the IRS. And I'm very passionate about it. Yeah. You know why my parents got a divorce? Because of money. So
there's a percentage to, like, I forget what it is, but majority of divorces are because of money trouble.
It's more than 80%.
Yeah.
Comes down to money. So I know this. I know the
statistic.
Yes,
know the number.
because I experienced that.
Yeah.
It gave me so much pain, but I can be a victim and point the finger like, well, look where I'm at because of my mom, because of my dad, because of the government, because of my school. Yeah. But every time I point the finger, guess what? 3 fingers are pointing right back at me.
Absolutely right.
So what am I going to do about it? My whole life, I was a victim. My whole life, I was broken. As a kid, I remember feeling like so unworthy, so unloved. Like I wasn't even worth living. I had suicidal thoughts as a kid.
Wow.
It was crazy until one teacher changed my life. Why would I do what I do for free? Because of this man. His name is Mario Forney from Haddon Elementary, this teacher in the 5th grade. I was so behind, I couldn't read, I couldn't spell, that they put me in a special ed class with him. I felt so freaking...
That's crazy to think that you were put in a special ed class. Like seeing you now and you're like, there's no way.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But that's what God does. He can get your mess and turn it into a message. Only him. So am I preaching God because, I'm so far from it? I think that's why God blesses me, because I don't hide that I'm fake. Like, I'm so perfect. No. Yeah. I make mistakes. I cuss. I'll drink occasionally. I I have fun.
You're human.
I'm human.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. I'm human.
Yeah.
But you know what? I never forget praising him and giving him all the honor. I don't. And I did at one point, but getting back to, and I want to tell you about this because this is super important to me. But I remember going to this man's class and he's like, hey, Mario, stay after class. And I thought what it was because he caught me copying or like making too many jokes.
You're like, I'm in trouble.
I'm in trouble. Or he asked me to stand up and read. You know how they go around?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it was like simple things, but I was so intimidated. I was so
You get that anxiety.
insecure.
Yeah.
There's no way I could have read something. I'd rather go to the principal's office. And it's crazy because after class, he's like, hey, why are you in my class? And I got emotional. I had tears in my eyes. And I'm like, I have a learning disability. He's like, who told you that? I'm like, well, you can talk to my mom, or you can talk to my teachers or doctors. They'll tell you like I learn slower. Like that's who I am. And he said, no, son, you don't have a learning disability. You have an effort disability. You just don't try. And you know why I didn't try? Because I put myself in the box like either you're smart or you're dumb. I put myself in that box that just dumb.
You surrendered to that.
I surrendered. So I didn't even try. So I went from having a broken mindset to a growth mindset. He changed my life. He's like, you want to learn how to read? I'll teach you. Stay after class. And he taught me how to read. He taught me how to spell. He built up my confidence. He's seen me hang around kids that were not the right kids. He's like, hey, stay with me. He even showed me we built this wall that still had an elementary. Yeah, we built this wall like for the trash cans. He showed me how to work. And he's like, here's some money. Like unbelievable man. He just poured into me. No financial need, nothing. Just poured into me. Changed my life.
Wow.
You know, it's so crazy. 10 years later, down the line, well, more like, I was making like probably $500,000 a year. I was doing good. Not how I'm doing now, but I was doing pretty good. And I'm doing a speech in front of a couple hundred people, and he's in the crowd.
No.
Dude, someone invited him, say, hey, like, this kid talks about you. Do you want to come see him speak?
Wow.
And dude, Jennifer,
I was gonna say, how emotional did you get?
I couldn't speak. Like I was like ugly crying. Like I couldn't help it. Like he changed my life.
Yeah.
And damn, I get emotional just thinking about it. But that's why I do what I do. Like when I see someone that's hungry like you, like I give them everything. Like and I don't have like, well, what am I going to get in return? What did that guy have to get in return?
Nothing.
But look at the impact. I'm changing hundreds of thousands of lives and millions of lives
Yeah.
because of one man that changed my paradigm, changed my
I
thinking.
was gonna say it's a paradigm shift, and that's one of the things too that's cool. Like to kind of go back to what you're saying is you're humble and you know where you come from, and that's one of the things that to me like it gravitates me towards you more because prior to developing the confidence in business that I have now, I would have never approached you, or I would have been too nervous, or just seeing your level of success. But just like how I run into you at the gym, and I mentioned it in the lab. I talk about you to almost everybody when I mention it.
Thank you.
Just because it really does make a difference. And I tell myself, I'm like, this man has no reason to lie to me, like, and tell me like, oh, you have what it takes to be successful. So I'm like, if he sees it in me, like that keeps me going.
So
Even
important.
though we might not be able to connect on a regular basis, like professionally, it's still like just the times that you do, I'm just like, hell yeah. Like Mario Arrizon believes in me, like I have to.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Because again, it's kind of, it's not to the extent where that teacher sat with you after class, but it's providing that paradigm shift. And also like you sharing your story and hearing that like your upbringing, it's like, dude, he was able to make it. I never lived in that level. I had adversity growing up, but nothing to where I can be a victim at all. So I'm just like, Jen, like, ponte las pilas.
Yes.
Everything it takes. So
You're blessed.
Yeah. Honestly,
You're blessed.
Yeah.
And I was talking to some of my teammates, and to me, they're my family.
Yeah.
Like I don't even though like we're like, we see each other and stuff, but I never treat you like you're my employee or nothing like that, because you're not. But I treat you like a friend, and I bring you like family. You see how my team treats me. They call me coach.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I am tough on them. But one of the things I was telling them, like, so many people have so much faith in God, like, but they have zero faith in themselves. That's an insult.
Yeah.
Jennifer, you don't have kids yet, But one day, like, you're going to know, like, you love your parents, you love your siblings, but when you have kids, it's a different love. Like, you're willing to instantly give your life for them.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different love I cannot describe. Like, and no disrespect to anyone that doesn't have kids out there, but you have not experienced that level of love until you have children. And if they hurt, it hurts you more. If they don't believe in themselves, it offends you as like, the heck?
Yeah.
Like, do you forget who your father is? But yet we do that to God all the time. God this, God that. But yet you forget who you are. It's an
like the
insult.
vessel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how much you believe in God if you don't believe in yourself. Like, it's an insult. So to me, I'm like, I'm going to be that one that has bold faith. Faith. What is faith? That you don't even see, but you just like, you know what? Everything's going to be good. And God always delivers. But I don't like, I'm praying to you, God. I'm praying to you, and I'm sitting on my butt not doing anything. I'm praying, but I'm working my butt off behind it. And the results happen.
What's the saying? I'm sure you know this, but faith without works is
Death.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's actually a Bible verse.
Okay.
And that's the difference. Like, what like, I am one of those people like, dude, my faith is contagious. My energy is contagious.
It really is.
And look, anyone can be that way. He was born that way. No, I was so broken. But I was so broken, but you are who you hang around with.
Yeah.
You cannot be around someone like me, Jennifer, and not be driven to do more. Like, damn, this guy can do, why can't I? Now, there's people that have things and they put you like, oh, look what I got. Look how great I am. There's those type of people.
Yeah.
And there's people like me that say, look what I got. And I was where you're at, or if not even worse. Ponte las pilas.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like your mom says, like my dad said, ponte las pilas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's like a Hispanic thing, like, right?
Ponte las pilas.
Ponte las
Like,
pilas.
get it together, like,
Dude. And I was such a troublemaker. Like, thank God I got my dad back in my life. But I remember as a kid, like, my dad would be like, Junior, wouldn't turn around. Mario wouldn't turn around. Cabron, what's up? I was such a troublemaker. That I thought Cabron was my middle name.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
You know? It's crazy.
Yeah, but you made the turnaround, and you're making a really big difference.
And anyone can. I'm not on here to be like, oh, look how great I am. No, anyone can. You got to be so tired of where you're at. Say, enough's enough.
Yeah.
Enough being a victim. There's a story about a dog that this man walks into the store and he looks down and he sees the dog and it's like making noise, like it's hurting, like it's whimpering, like,
Yeah.
and it's like, what's wrong with your dog? It looks like it's in pain. He's like, yeah, it's in pain. He's like, what are you going to do about it? He's like, it's in pain because it's sitting on a nail. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, why doesn't he get up? He's like, because it doesn't hurt bad enough.
Oh.
A lot of people are complaining, like, it hurts. Look what I'm going through. But it doesn't hurt bad enough to get off your butt and do something about it.
Yeah.
See, pain is good if it
is.
moves you in the right direction.
And that's what I've admitted to that, even myself, because I haven't been through like any crazy type of adversity. I'm very fortunate in that sense to where I'm like, it's almost kind of to a detriment, where I live a very comfortable life. And I know that I want more, and I know that I want better than what I'm living now, but I'm also like, there isn't that pain. So it's almost like I need to generate something.
Yeah.
Because again, like, at the end of the day, if I failed, I have a family that, like, I know nothing bad would happen to me, but then I'm just like, well, I can't think that way either, because I want more for myself and I want to build as well. Like, I want to have the residuals that we were just talking about.
Yes.
I want to live a better lifestyle. So I don't.
You're 100% right. And what it is you don't have a strong enough why yet. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm your coach.
Anything that you say, I will not be like, dang, Mario, that's
okay.
Everything
But
just yes.
because some people can be like, damn, what a jerk. He's straight, like, but that's really what it is. You can go somewhere and get inspired and say, you know what, enough. Like, I went to the Dominican Republic with my family. It was beautiful. We took a bunch of our teammates. There was like 100 of us there.
Part of the Dominican.
What is it? Like the Punta Cana.
I'm headed there next.
It was beautiful. But you know what changed my life? Not the meetings, not being there with my friends. That was amazing. Anywhere with your friends and family, it's amazing. We can be in the parking lot and we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
It was going on these ATVs
I heard about that.
in Punta Cana,
Okay.
and the kids are starving.
Ooh.
Like they are like naked, like almost in bone. Like you can see their skin, like in their bones. and they're hungry, like, $1, please. I'm hungry. They're like, I'm hungry. Like, bro,
That's heartbreaking.
it moved me like, oh my God, I gotta do something. I gotta be more successful to help.
Yeah.
It really moved me. And I'm actually going back with one of my friends that's big out there in the Dominican Republic because I want to make a difference.
Nice.
I want to make a difference. And I'm like, dude, that's cool. I'm going to do something for that because I seen that. But dude, how many of my people need help here in the States? Because man, I'm so darn proud to be Mexican. I have that in my blood. My dad's side from Jalisco. My dad was born in Jalisco. My mom's side from Michoacan. So I'm super proud to be Mexican.
Yeah.
But I love my country. Like, I'm sorry about this is my country. Like I tell my boys, like my boys wear like Mexican sleeves when they play baseball. I said, that's great, but put an American sleeve. Because this country gave us everything we have. So I'm very proud to be an American. But oh, he's whitewashed. Like, are you freaking dumb?
Yeah.
We have everything we have because of this amazing country.
Yeah, you have like endless opportunities.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm not like denying that I love being Mexican. I represent, right? That dude, I'm proud.
Yeah.
But man, why not be, the reason I'm saying this, like, man, I know there's kids in Mexico just the same. Why not do that? And I got an opportunity to do that.
Really?
Oh my God.
What did you get to do?
I got to go with my dad and to his old town in Jalisco. In Jalisco.
I think I seen that.
Yes. And I went to where his ranchito was at. And my dad was saying a story. He's like, son, you see here, that lady used to feed me when I didn't have food because I grew up with my grandparents. He was telling me. And he's like, my parents left at a very young age. He's like, that person used to get me shoes. That person, like, man, the whole village helped me. They seen, and then he's like, my dad was like, we were one of the poorest kids in the pueblo. And the guy's like, hey, Mario, no disrespect, you were the poorest family. Like, we were poor, but you guys were hurting.
Wow.
And my dad got emotional. He's like, man, like, he got emotional. I'm like, Dad, so who helped you? But I came prepared. I brought $20,000.
Wow.
I said, who helped you? He's like, that person, that person, that person. I'm like, all right, cool. Bring the village.
Yeah.
Bring everybody. So I brought everybody and I did a speech. I said, hey, thank you guys for helping my dad when he was a young boy. Like, he would have died if you guys didn't feed him and clothe him. Thank you. And I'm here and my dad's like bragging, like, my son's this. I'm like, Dad, no, like, we're in Mexico, bro. Like, chill, keep it down, right? But my dad can't help it. He's a walking billboard. Exactly. I was telling him that. So I was like, but who is it? And I brought out a stack of hundreds and 20s. And I said, I'm like, that lady used to feed you. I'm like, here you go. So you have $500.
Wow.
And they're like,
that has to be so gratifying.
And there was a line. There was a line, and then like every kid there got something. Man. Every parent, like the line of parents, it was super awesome. And my dad was like emotional, sobbing, like, can you believe this is my son? Things like that. All the no's, all the rejections, all the sleepless nights. Because if you're building a business, you're gonna go through that. I don't care what you do. That I felt like, man, I'm not good enough. That felt like this big, Jennifer. It felt like I had the world on my shoulders. Moments like that with my dad.
Make it all worth it.
It made it that little.
Yeah.
Like all that pain became that little and I would do it all over again.
Oh, I bet.
So I got a stronger why? Because when you get to certain positions, you got to look for different things to keep you hungry. In the beginning, I wanted to make my dad proud. I wanted to make my mom proud. That was my why.
Yeah.
I got married. I want to make my wife proud. I want her to be like, damn, I married a stud. I had kids. My kids were my why. My kids are set. My kids are multi-millionaires.
Wow.
They don't know that.
Yeah.
But I put money aside for them that they're set for life.
You invested on their behalf.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would love one day to teach like, hey, these are some things that you can do that you can pay the IRS or pay your legacy. You can pay your kids, write it off, invest that money. Some of that money, you can use it for school supplies and you wrote it off that you couldn't do before. This is what I mean. I teach you what the insurance companies, the banks, and the IRS don't want you to know. So I would do what I do for free. I feel like I'm freaking Robin Hood. Yeah. I'm serious.
You really are.
Like I really feel like that because I get all the information from the ultra wealthy and I bring it back to the hood.
And you share it
and I don't have to steal it. They give it to me. But you know what's the crazy part?
Better because I don't have to steal.
Yes. And you know what the crazy part is? People still don't believe. They have a big Virgin Mary at their thing. They like, she can do all miracles. They have a big Cristo with Mexicans, right? Like, but yet when it comes to themselves, they don't believe it's possible.
Yeah.
And that's sad. And all they need is a ray, like a how can I say, like, I feel like I'm that light at the end of the tunnel. Like, for people, like, look what's possible. Not that I'm God. No. I mean, like, hope. Like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
This guy came from where I came from. Same skin color. Huh. Wait a minute.
Like, the reality of the outcome, like, you are a testimonial of, like, a huge extent to what it could be if you implement, if you learn, and if you put in the work. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, like I say, going back, like, that is the number one thing that had me locked in with you, is when you told us your story. And, like, it makes a difference that you showed the picture, because I'm like, he's not just making the story up. Like, he really did live this life. But, yeah, it's really just putting in the work, but being open-minded to taking in all the information and then implementing it. But like you say, like, people hear it and they're like, nah.
Like, literally, you can give people, I posted something one time that, like, this guy was literally giving away, like, gold. And people are like, nah, like, who do you want, this thing right here, like a gold block?
Yeah.
Or this chocolate? And they're like taking the chocolate and taking the chocolate. Like, literally, they're like, it can't be real. It can't be real. And they literally did that. Like, they just kept on taking that. They didn't believe it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And people just, they can't believe, like, no, sounds too good to be true. It's fake. And guess what? That's why they fell.
Yeah.
Because they believe that. Now, don't get scammed into something really stupid, okay? Like, for $100, you're gonna get $1 million house. Like, come on, don't be dumb either. But like, it's gonna take hard work. That's what people don't tell us. I don't think people understand the price of greatness, and it's everything you got and a little bit more.
Yeah.
But who's in your corner is everything. See, getting into business, getting into marriage. Look, business is a marriage. Like, you can't, like, I couldn't get married and tell my wife, like, hey, what's the minimum? Okay, I couldn't tell my wife, like, for example, like, what is the minimum I can do to stay married with you? Imagine that, Jennifer. Like, I'm like, hey, Jennifer, we're going to get married, but what's the minimum requirement I can give you for you can not leave me? Yeah. Imagine going into that. Well, that's what people do into business.
Wow.
They're like, what's the minimum I can do?
And be successful. Business is a marriage. Yeah. And it doesn't like, oh, okay, I already got it set. It's never set. You always have to keep on putting in. Like, I still got to keep on making sure my wife falls in love with me. I can like, oh, well, I already take care of her. I really like, no. I got to be fit. I want her to be attracted to me. I got to tell her nice things. I got to get her flowers. I got to date her. I want my wife to feel freaking attractive, because if I don't, guess what? Someone else will. Right? And guess what? Vice versa. The same thing, but someone's got to lead. Oh, she don't deserve it. You're a loser, bro. You got to fight for your wife. Yeah. And vice versa. Like, if your husband's not doing that, you be that one. Yeah. So constant. Yes. So let me give you an example. Who's in your corner when it comes to marriage, when it comes to business, will determine if you become successful in life or not. Yeah. Jennifer, if you come to me and you're married, okay, and you're having marital problems, because you're going to have it when you're married, it happens. And you come to me, and I've been married for 15 years. Yeah. And you say, I'm going through this. Guess what I'm going to tell you? Like, what? That's it? And you're trying to quit? You're trying to throw in the towel? I'm like, Jennifer. I gotta tell you, I thought about you the other day, because I had somebody talking to me about their marriage issues. And then just me, obviously I'm not married, so I haven't been through it. So it's very easy for me to be like, well, you're not happy, you know? But then I thought about that. I remember one time I went to one of your events, and you're like, you want to be with the friends that are going to tell you, like, work it out, hear her out. Like, what... And not the friends that are like, you know what, forget that, leave that. You could be single, you're still young. So it, like you're saying, it's
so important. Who do you go to? Let's say I know your husband, and I know he's a good guy, but he's messing up on certain things. I'm going to have your, like, if you go to me for advice, I'm going to have your back. And most likely, the chances of you having a successful marriage are going to be very high, because your top 3, top 5 people you're going to, if they're good with your husband, they're good with you, they're going to support you on fixing things. Yeah. But if you go to your girlfriends, they're like, girl, you're beautiful. Why are you dealing with that? Like, dude, you got to live the single life. You're going to end up divorced. Yeah. And that's what happens. Same thing in business. People are asking people about how to be successful in business, and they're not even successful. I'm not trying to be mean, but if you go to your mom, does she build a successful business?
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean by that. And that's why I make it a really big point, because of that. I'm a firm believer of that, of like who you have in your corner, who you're listening to, who you surround yourself with. That's why, like, yourself, the gentleman that I'm a part of his team, Carlos, the one that you
Mm-hmm.
just met, he's really big about like pouring back into the community too, which to me that's a really big deal. So I'm like, that's somebody I want to work with. I listen to people that are at a level of success that I want to get to, and that's why like with you, when you give me feedback and you're like, don't take it the wrong way, and I'm like, I could never take, unless you were completely disrespectful, which you never are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna listen like 100% open minded because you're in a place that I want to be, and you have like a clear mentality. You're not like a shady dude or anything. So that's. I make a proactive effort to keep those people close.
Smart. And guess what? Your future is bright. Like, honestly, that you show me the people that you're hanging around with, who you're listening to. You show me your habits, and I will determine what type of future you're going to have. Now, the next thing I need to see, all right, what are you doing on a daily basis? Is it congruent with what you want towards your goals and dreams, or is it something totally different? And some people want to be successful. They want to be in shape. Like, I want to be in shape, but they never go to the gym. They never eat right. They don't drink right. And guess what? Are they going to get in shape?
Nope.
It don't matter how much you want it, how much you believe. That don't mean nothing if you don't take action.
Exactly.
But it starts with belief first, then action.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to take action before you believe. Like, man, I just got to do it. Like,
that was me in real estate. I had no idea what I was getting into, but I was like,